This would be a good time to ingest some extra caffeine. Late night adventures on the gridiron, and we all know anything can happen when you kick off after dark. Glad to have you with us from Aggie Memorial Stadium in Las Cruces, New Mexico, home to the Aggies of New Mexico State. As we'll see a team from the American, the Northwestern Wildcats, taking on a team from Conference USA, the New Mexico State Aggies. 48 Sports College Football, Reese Davis with you alongside David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. And guys, can't wait to get this one started. And the Wildcats will get this season underway as toe meets leather. And he'll just take a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. The Aggies offense will start this game off. Let's take a quick second to call out some of the impact players their coaches mentioned in meetings this week. Anything you guys heard that really resonated with you?
Yeah, I love when coaches talk about guys that bring it every single day. Like, that we can depend on them. They can get other guys lined up. They're always motivated. They're always being a great teammate.
He's loose. It's a seam wide open. The 30. And he's brought down after a huge completion.
Well, after that last play, you can see how electrifying this guy is and how special he is after he makes the catch. If I'm on offense, I'm trying to find a lot of ways to get him touches in this game.
From the red zone, looking for a space. And the pass rush is effective, and they tackle him at the 19.
How about this defense coming out aggressive on first down? They're in the red zone. They're like, no, we're going to take the fight to you. Now setting up a second down and long and putting them in a great position to be successful.
And the Aggies trying to find their way forward after the big loss on the last play. Catch in the middle, it's Harris. And just a short, safe pass play, they pick up a few. Let's take just a moment to talk about New Mexico State. The good news about starting the season outside the top 25, not a lot of lofty expectations. You can sneak up on a few teams, but sooner or later, you're going to want to get that attention and get into those rankings.
A lot more, but it's not impossible. In recent years, you saw it with Indiana coming out of absolutely nowhere. You saw it back in the day with USF. You've seen it with Rutgers. Like, in the past, you can do it. You can put it together, gain some momentum, but it starts with this game right here.
TCU reached the national championship game a few years back. No one expected much of them that season either, so you never know. What's important is what people believe inside your own locker room. This team thinks they can do some really special things this year, and they get a chance to start strong here in week 1.
After putting up a 3-spot, the kickoff unit set to go. From inside the 10, here he comes. He was hoping for something a little more dynamic, but they get him on the ground at the 20. So the Northwestern Wildcats offense will go to work for the first time. And Jesse, they've got a running back that they'd love to feature in this if he is able to answer the challenge.
Yeah, and listen, this guy might not be a Heisman finalist, but he can break off long runs. And this defense, David, they better be ready. They better pack a lunch, show up today, and try to get hats to the football. Because if you come out here with your B game, he can run all over you.
And it's important for this offense, too, because they need to have balance on offense. They need the ground game to get going. He's capable. He's shown flashes. We just want to see it consistently.
False start offense.
So the decision has been made, and the coach will take the penalty. Out of the gun, the inside give. Gets it out to the 20 after a pickup of 4.
And those body blows really, really matter. Like, I want to be able to hand the ball off to my running back 10, 15 times a game. Make the defense tackle them, wear them out. Sometimes these 3 to 4 yard runs, later in football games, they turn into 5 to 15 to 20-yard gains just because of the body blow effect.
Safe completion on the screen. He's really close to that first down marker, but they stop him just a bit short.
One of the things I love about this offense is they're very versatile in their passing attack. They throw to receivers and tight ends, and the screen game is big as well. This guy is a weapon, and you're seeing that here early.
Give to the fullback. Just nowhere to go against this defense to find that single yard he needed on third down. This offense is completely confident in their ability to get 1 yard. They'll go for it on fourth down. He'll sneak and try to surge forward.
I think that's a big advantage of having a tiny quarterback, right? Is he can find little creases to wedge his body into to pick up short yardage plays like that on the QB sneak on fourth down.
The Wildcats with the 1st and 10. Use the play fake, now to throw. Just a short pass to the tight end. He's brought down quickly. Minimal gain there, still a bit short of the first down.
You know, I know it seems like an easy pitch and catch, but for the tight end there, that route potentially changes if it's man coverage. So good job by him knowing it's zone. I'm just going to sit down. This is basically like a check down, right? Let's just take the easy pitch and catch and keep this drive going.
Going with the ground game left. Not much running room there thanks to this senior defender.
And what's the closest guy to the football, man? It's those defensive tackles. And those guards and centers have to work together. They got to get those guys and get some movement. They don't on this play, and the big fella eats. Nowhere to go. When you run into him, you usually meet the ground.
They'll try to power their way ahead. And the Wildcats get the first down.
And I just love when guys know exactly where the sticks are. You could tell ran with purpose, finished through the sticks, and got just enough for the first down.
And a nice job up front too, right? Good communication. Everybody knew where they had to go. Hat on a hat, work the double teams, and get some push.
He was looking for some place to put his foot in the ground, but the defense was everywhere, and he's knocked down behind the line. He might want another play. Off the play fake. Fires to the big fella. They make the stop, but not before he takes a chunk out of what they need to move the sticks.
It's so important that this offense is able to stay on schedule. And what that means is keeping third downs manageable. That last completion to the tight end accomplished just that. Really nice play.
To the air, it's Stone. Out of the backfield, he's open. He's going to come up a couple of yards short of the first down. They were really hopeful he could make a guy or two miss and pick up the first down, but he comes up a little short.
Yeah, and it's great defense. It's defense understanding where the sticks are, not missing tackles, getting the guy on the ground quickly. Really nice job by the defense understanding the situation.
Boy, they had a chance to track that thing down, but it bounces into the end zone for a touchback. A lot of field in front of them as they open this possession from their own 20. And it just squirted through his hands. He wanted to take off and got too anxious.
I think a really big key in the RPO game is having really good rhythm and timing. Offense didn't have it there, and that's why it falls incomplete.
So now it's 2nd and long. They think they can impose their will here with the run to the right. And this one will be stopped for no gain.
I'll tell you, this defensive end, not only can he pass rush, but he can play the run as well. You see him beat the offensive lineman there trying to block him and get in the backfield to make that tackle for loss. That was impressive.
You make up the game plan and not a lot on the play sheet for this. 3rd and long from inside their own 20. From the gun, wants to pass. Trying to make magic with his feet. And boy, is he close to that first down, maybe just a couple of inches short. New Mexico State will be forced to punt. They'll boot it away for the first time tonight. Here's the return. Coverage team was down there to corral him. They made the stop, and they'll mark it at the 39. The Northwestern offense returns to the field. They're going to need to get something started, finding themselves in a 3-0 hole. They'll put the ball in play from just inside their own 40 at the 39. To the air, it's Stone. Got it set up on the outside. That probably looked way better on the play sheet than it did on the field. The screen gets nothing.
Yeah, it didn't look good on the field, that's for dang sure. You know, you got to invite those guys up the field and kind of sell that you're going to throw the ball deep on a screen. They didn't sell it real well. Defense did not bite at all. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, nowhere to go.
Try to make up for some of that lost ground on second down. Back to pass. Got the back over the middle. Didn't pick up a lot there, moving it forward just a few. When a defense is in zone coverage, Jesse, they want to react. How do you react to a howitzer coming out like that one?
Not much you can do because this guy's got a cannon. You saw all the eyeballs on defense on that play. They were waiting and anticipating that throw, but when you've got an arm like that, it's going to be tough to stop that curl run.
The Wildcats come to the line on 3rd and short, hoping to keep the drive alive. That's the end of the quarter. New Mexico State has the lead. And we've come to the end of one. And let's take a quick moment to catch up on the stats. Now to see if these guys can get back in the game as we open the second quarter. So they had a chance to talk over this 3rd down play to open the period. They'll run play action. Caught near the sticks. It's Albright. He's got enough to move the chains, and they'll spot it at the 47.
Well, it's a nice job, too, of the quarterback after the play fake there, getting his eyes down the field. He had to get that to his tight end quickly, knowing he wasn't going to have a lot of space to run with after the catch.
Northwestern comes to the line with a fresh set of downs. Gonna run it. It's Porter. Able to scrounge 3 yards out of that one somehow. It's 2nd and 7.
The run game just has not been working for this offense all game long. You saw it on that last play as well. Just not getting enough push up front on the offensive line. They haven't been physical enough.
They feed him again. And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play. Able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage.
Stopping the run is very high on every defensive coordinator's list. Making the team one-dimensional. Nice job stuffing the run on that play right there.
Might be calling a hot route. Dropping back, it's Stone. Spits it out to the back. He's got it. Gets it all the way inside the 20-yard line to the 19 before being hauled down. Northwestern moving the ball expeditiously. Wide receiver comes in motion. One running back in the backfield, and he has it. Knocked down behind the line of scrimmage, he'll lose a yard.
Yeah, I think the running back kind of went rogue on that last running play. I'm not sure it was designed to go that direction. He tried to make it happen on his own, and unfortunately ended up losing yards.
And the defense holds firm. No pickup at all on that play.
job of contained by this defense. And in order to do that, the end man on the line of scrimmage defensively has got to be able to set the point and force the football back into traffic. And that's exactly what happened.
And they have converted their first 2 third down opportunities, but this one a 3rd and long. From the gun, wants to pass. Looking for the end zone. And he's got it. Touchdown, Northwestern.
And it's so underrated. The relationship between a QB and a wide receiver, the timing, the ability to know where he's going to be and be accurate with the football, that's what leads to nice touchdowns, Jesse.
Well, and the chemistry between these two guys has to be great when you're throwing into the end zone because coverage is going to be tight. The throw might not be perfect, but this is something these two guys have been repping in practice over and over and over, and it's paying dividends now on game day.
And the extra point is good, and it's a 4-point lead. Let's go to the studio now and check in with Kevin Connors. Kevin, what do you got?
All right, guys, got a final score on one of the more intriguing games this week. Boise State sparkled today in a dominant road win. In fact, by the 4th quarter, it almost felt like this game was being played in Boise. That's how much they took the crowd out of it. All that speculation all week, and now we know. Something tells me, fellas, we haven't heard the last of either of these teams.
Hey, Kevin Connors, keeping an eye on everything all over the country. Sounds like they had a good one there. They get enough rush, and it pays off. The sack at the 20.
Well, these 4-3 defensive ends that can get pressure on quarterbacks, they get paid a lot of money in the National Football League, and that's why. When you can get out of your stance and win it around the edge to get to the QB, not many guys do it as well as that.
The Aggies have put themselves in dire straits after that last play. It's 2nd and a mile. To throw, it's Cutler. Pressure coming. And he feels the heat coming, and it burns him up. Another sack.
What a great job by this defense setting the tone early. In the first half, they've been hitting the quarterback early and often. Make him feel uncomfortable. Make him feel that pressure. Keep getting him on the ground. That's why they've built a lead.
Now a lot of work to do to move the chains, keep this drive alive after that earlier sack. On 3rd and long, doesn't need to take the check down. Gets down at the last possible second to avoid getting lit up. New Mexico State will be forced to punt. Doesn't say much for your drive when you're looking forward to the punt. On his way from around the 50. And they'll haul down the returner to start us on the next drive. Wildcats have it back. The Northwestern offense headed out. Took the last drive in for a touchdown. They'll try to do it again on this one. He wants to change this route. The give to the fullback. And I think they'll give him 2 on that one. 2nd and 8 coming up. Win with the running game on 1st down, now back at it. They'll try to get the corner here on the jet sweep. That is a big win for this defense as they were right there as soon as he got the ball.
Well, this defense knew coming into the game they were going to see some of these jet sweeps, and they were ready that time. Great job communicating before the snap. Everybody had their eyes in the right place, and they're able to tackle the receiver for a loss.
Wants to throw. It's Stone. He fires to the left side. And it's incomplete. Good play downfield by the DB.
Well, this is a disappointing drive for the offense, considering where this drive started in their opponent territory. Now you're 4th and long. You've got to be better throwing the football in those types of situations.
He'll make the fair catch at the 13, and they will have less than favorable field position here. First play of this drive comes from the 14-yard line. Leaves it with the back. They'll knock him down for a loss of a couple.
And this offense on first down, man, they go backwards. And they built a deficit, and they've been sluggish. And they just need something to get going, to get started, because they've kind of looked out of sorts and out of rhythm this whole game.
We're at the 2-minute timeout. It's been a good one so far. Opportunity for this offense perhaps to take the lead before halftime. Backed up now. Here's 2nd and long. Looking to fire. Quarterback needs to make a better throw there. Incomplete.
The offense just has not been able to find a way to get their rhythm going here in the first half. We just haven't seen it in the passing game. That was a really good example of it again. If they're going to score more points in the second half, they've got to make some adjustments here at halftime.
And the Aggies need their binoculars to find that line to gain here on 3rd down. Balls and fired complete. They'll pick up the first down as he gets it out to the 27-yard line. Clock stops momentarily for the first down. They'll hurry to the line. To the air on first down. They get enough rush, and it pays off. The sack at the 20.
Well, I think one of the biggest reasons why this team is finding themselves in a hole here in the first half is this has been a sack party. They can't keep the defense off of their quarterback. They haven't been able to get the ball deep down the field, throwing it with the consistency they want, because they can't keep their quarterback standing up straight.
This pass rush has just been relentless, and you can bet your bottom dollar they're about to bring the heat again. Looking downfield, it's Cutler. Got it in the middle, it's Williams. Here's a timeout on the field. Tight game here late in the first half.
Nice job by the quarterback, pre-snap and post-snap. He knew the defense was going to be playing zone coverage, and there was no doubt in his mind where he was going with that football.
On the run, it's Callaway. He's not going to make it. What a job by this defense to stop him in his tracks.
Well, there was just nowhere to go for the runner on that last play. Just way too much penetration up front, and as a result, they lose yardage.
The defense going to stop the clock with a timeout. They want to make sure they have everybody on the same page. New Mexico State will be forced to punt. Hauls it in and looking upfield. Slips through the line. Found a little running room on that one. Picked up some nice blocks before he's run out of bounds. The Northwestern offense returns to the field. They'll have another opportunity to extend this lead after punting last time, David.
And it's important to put that punt behind you. It's over. Let it go. Get back to what you were doing that built this lead, though.
Yeah, and defense, obviously, they won a few downs that last drive, so we got to put them on their heels here. Maybe mix up a few personnel groupings and try to show them some pictures they haven't seen yet.
Plenty of distance between them and the sticks here on 2nd down. Wants to adjust the pattern. Wants to fire on 2nd down. A strike downfield. Inside the 30, down to the 29. Time is running short here in the first half.
When offenses run these slant routes, it's about putting the ball right on the numbers, and defensively, I got to be able to take those angles right away. See where he's at, break on the football. Poor angles there by the defense. The offense took advantage with some nice yards after the catch.
Now on 1st and 10 from the 29. The give to the back. Able to pick his way forward for a decent game before the defense gets him down.
I know that wasn't a huge, sexy gain. I know not everybody's jumping up and down, but what it does do is put you in a great position to succeed on 2nd down. 2nd and 10, really hard. 3rd and 10, really hard. Now you're in a manageable situation. It really gives you the whole playbook.
And it'll be incomplete. This is some physical pass defense.
What a hit by the defender. That's a good throw, and that was going to be caught, but how about the defender dislodging the football from its intended target? Nice job.
Here they come up to the 23-yard line, not thinking field goal, wanting to convert this third and short. Got out of trouble, got rid of it. Trying to pick up the first out of the backfield. Quick timeout call by the offense after the play.
I don't know about the play call there, guys. Third down, they're throwing it behind the line of scrimmage, seeing if this guy can do something once he has it in his hands, but a better job of pursuit and tackling defensively, now setting up fourth.
It is good. Now up by 7 points here in the second.
Man, so many more times we're going to say, go for it, be aggressive. Nice to have a guy you can depend on, and you know you're putting 3 on the board. Nice kick, nice job.
So they get the late field goal right before the half, and not much time after this kickoff for an answer. From inside his own 10, let's see what he gets. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. Waning seconds of the first half, let's see how they handle it. Leaves it with the running back. And he is snuffed out, greeted by a host of defenders. First half in the books. Time now to join Kevin Connors in our halftime update.
Thanks, guys. Looks like it's been a terrific scene there today in Las Cruces. And a lot of coaches will say limiting the big plays and maybe hitting on a few yourself is key. But I'm more of a move the chains guy. Give me efficiency every day of the week and twice on Saturday. The offensive unit that subscribes to the less is more philosophy might be the one that leaves here today with a big, fat W. And with that, let's send it back to the guys at Aggie Memorial Stadium.
Thanks for that breakdown, Kevin. New Mexico State will kick it away to open this third quarter. And he takes this from inside the 5. Nice job by the kickoff team. Everybody stayed in their lanes, and they'll stop him at the 16. Wildcats have it back. The Northwestern offense headed out. They got plenty done through the air in the first half, and we'll see if they even need to look for balance as we start the third quarter.
Well, and I think defensively, you understand, like the running game isn't a big part of the plan. I wonder how they adjust and play more coverage to this pass-happy offense.
Yeah, so you're going to have to be ready if you're a quarterback then. You're probably going to see some different coverages. You might see a little bit more blitz in the second half as well. So you have to know where your answers are.
You want to make play calling easy for an offensive coordinator? Run the ball like that every play. I mean, when you can run that on first down and set up a short yardage on second down, it makes play calling easy. Every single call on that sheet is available here on second down.
They'll give it to the back. They bring him down, but not before he's able to pick up the first down.
This shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. If you've got the lead in the third quarter and you want to keep it, you got to bleed the clock. Best way to do that, run the football. And you're now seeing this offense call these run plays back to back. They are trying to be physical, and they're trying to stay on the field.
Looking for a man. It's Stone. Flips it out on the screen. And maybe he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that.
Well, the defense sniffed that screen out perfectly. All the D linemen, they were reading the body language of the offensive line. They knew something was up, and when the screen pass got thrown, they were right there to make the tackle.
To the air on second down. And he drops it. Just took his eye off of it in the last minute.
There's an example, Jesse, of a receiver making his quarterback look bad. Most of the time, make it look good and cover up for him. All those balls y'all don't throw online, but oof, that would hit him in a pretty good spot. He needs to come down with that one.
Now the play fake. Here's the pressure. And the pass rush is effective, and they tackle him at the 19. Northwestern will send out the punt team. They'll look to pin them deep. Punt is on its way. And good work by the coverage team to knock down the return man. The New Mexico State offense returns to the field. And in a low-scoring game like this one, David, every possession is magnified.
And I think more than anything, it just gets frustrating. And you got to put that behind you. You got to see what this defense has been doing to be so successful. Palmer, now use it against them.
Yeah, David, I think for a play caller, this is tough, right? It's like you have to have the perfect play on just to get a first down. In these types of games, I think you're just trying to get guys out in space, see if a dude can break it.
And the ball slipped out. Defense falls on the ball. Going to be a turnover.
Oh, and it's a hit like that that will absolutely light up the sideline, light up the stadium, change the momentum, and help you win a football game, because that hit is what caused that fumble.
They'll start this drive at the 33-yard line. One back in the backfield. He gets the carry. He is going nowhere. Stopped at the line of scrimmage.
And you're seeing on both sides really hard to run the football in this one. You've got to give both of these defenses tons of credit. They are so physical up front. These defensive lines can take the game over, and right now it's tough sledding on the ground.
He's stopped for no gain again. Back-to-back runs, and they have nothing to show for it except facing a 3rd and long. Trying to pick up a first down. Dropping back, it's Stone. Looking left. And that's incomplete. A defender all over him. Knocked the ball to the ground. 4th down coming up. Northwestern will have to punt it away. 4th time tonight we've seen this guy come on to punt. The kick is on its way. Hauls it in at the 25. And he's going to get it up to about the 29-yard line before he's brought down. They'll get this drive started from the 29. Gives it on the option. Hard running there. A solid there, works it to the 30. Wasting no time throwing on this drive. And the deep shot is complete inside the 35-yard line.
Well, how about the offense setting that play up? We've seen earlier in the game a couple shorter throws. They're just trying to suck those safeties closer to the line of scrimmage, anticipating that they would get an opportunity to take a shot. They called the perfect play at the perfect time right there.
Looking downfield on 1st down. That's caught. It's Covey. And good coverage by the defense, just a short gain.
That's a good job by the drag route there, understanding its zone coverage. So instead of continuing to run across the field, he settles down into an open spot, making it easy for his quarterback.
The stiff arm, and now he's got room. He was running through tackles and picked up the 1st down and finally got knocked down. Northwestern ready to dial one up on 1st down. Not a lot there. Picks up one inside the 20 to the 19.
And I think this has probably been the most surprising thing of this game so far. This guy's one of the best running backs in the entire country. They just can't get him.
Intercepted. Big play stops the drive. Got some room to run. He's at the 40. Running inside the 20. And with the interception, they'll snap it from the 37 for the first play of this drive. Give to the running back. And they picked up 9 on first down. It'll bring up second and short.
It's got to feel good as an offense knowing that early in the drive you can turn around, hand it off, get a push up front, and go get positive yardage.
Got rid of it in a hurry, but he couldn't find his man. It's incomplete. And the Wildcats come to the line on third and short, looking to keep the drive moving.
Another incompletion, and I've said that a lot, and these teams are just struggling. I mean, the offense just doesn't know what to do. Nothing's working. Ground game, throw game. It's kind of been a rock fight on both sides.
Looking downfield, it's Stone. They'll run the screen. Oh, what a move. He gets it past the first down marker, and a really nice job to set up that screen and move the sticks. Northwestern making quick work on this drive. Looking to throw on first down. Pressure's there, and he lets it go. Just couldn't find an open man. He'll get rid of it, and it'll be second down.
And that was good defense again, and unfortunately we've been saying that all game long. Really, really good defense. Or, listen, you can spin on the other side. This offense is really good back.
Ball spotted at the 27. They're facing a third and long to try to keep their hopes of a touchdown alive. Quickly to the tight end. That'll be enough for the first down, and now they've got it at the 15-yard line. Northwestern in business in the red zone. They're going to run it to the right. Came through like a shot and knocked him down for a loss of 5.
You know, you're in the red zone, you bring out a bunch of tight ends on the field. So the defense, they were expecting run on that one. They were physical, and they were able to force the negative play.
Grabbed in the middle. It's coming. That completion gets them inside the 10, and the defense is running out of room to defend. Boy, they'd love to move the sticks here and take a shot at it on first and goal. They'll go to the air on third and short. Big guy smells it. Couldn't quite nudge it in. Not sure you could get much closer, but it'll be first and goal. They'll try to get it in with the run. This junior making his presence felt and making the stop after a short gain. See if they can get it done on second and goal. Tries again to get it in. Touchdown, Northwestern! And with that, they've got the lead here in the second half. Great place to start for this offense. Takes this handoff and headed to the right. Running behind those pads, he gets a couple before he stopped at the 18.
Man, it's really hard to control the running game if you don't control the line of scrimmage. And how about the defensive line doing a great job attacking those guys up front, not open up lanes to run through. Nice job just nullifying that run altogether.
And he'll make the grab along the sideline, but he's not able to get to the first down marker. So this offense with an opportunity to put this game in a hammerlock if they can score and bleed the clock. He's brought down at the 7-yard line, and they are threatening to take it in. Defense rose up deep in its own end on that last play. Now a second and long coming. Relentless, tough running gets it down to the 4. They worked it down to the 4-yard line, but now it's third and goal. Back to throw, it's Stone. And it's taken away by the defense, and they desperately needed that turnover.
Well, what a play by the defense.
He'll do it himself. And this one will be stopped for no gain.
Phenomenal job by the defense that time, shutting down the option play. They knew they were going to see this in this game, and all week long in practice, they really focused on this assignment football, making sure the dive, the quarterback, the pitch, all taken away. Nowhere to go with the football that time offensively. The defense coming up with a huge negative play.
Wants to throw on first down. Using his feet to buy time. And he's still trying to get away, and he will not. Oh, what a terrible play. Where did he think he was going? The Wildcats now with a long way to go to pick up the first down. They'll go to work in the air on second down. He fires a bullet to the right. And the incomplete pass taking a shot on second down, and they'll be left with a third down. Quarterback adjusting the pattern. It's third and long. Let's see if he's got enough juice in that arm. And they can't hook up on the big play, and that brings up a fourth down. Northwestern will send out the punt team. That leg is staying loose, already the fifth kick of the night. He'll get away another punt. He's been really active today, and no doubt he's going to... Their own end zone nipping at their heels as they start this drive from their own 2. They'll run it to keep this clock grinding. Very useful run there to get away from the goal line. He'll pick up 4 out to the 6. Timeout called by the defense. It's their first of the half as they'll make some adjustments. Unloads it left. It's complete. And he's knocked down immediately, but not before he moves the chains. They're backed up just a little. 1st and 10 from their own 19. The give on the option. Not much there. Picks up a couple to the 22.
This offense thinks that they have enough left in the tank here to run the football and run all the time off the clock. They got the lead late. Didn't get the first down on that last one, but it's not going to surprise anybody if they turn around and hand it off again here.
Gets it out fast. He makes the stop almost as soon as he catches it, and they're short of the first down. And if you didn't know this was a big play, the crowd is telling you. A huge third down. Finds his tight end. They corral him out of bounds. Mark it down at the 38, and this offense might have something going. Northwestern coming to the line with another first down. Scanning the field, it's Stone. Quickly out to the tight end. And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage. Working well behind the sticks on second down. Finds the tight end. Good pickup, a little bit short of the sticks.
I love an offense that wants to stay aggressive. Even when you've got the lead late in a game like this, right, you still try to find your playmakers and get them the ball in space, and that is exactly what this offense is doing.
2-minute timeout arrives, and this defense desperately needs to get the football back. And the Wildcats come to the line on 3rd and short, trying to keep the drive alive. They'll try to move the chains on the ground. Turning it on! They'll make the stop, but that first down ought to ice it, and they should be able to kneel this one out. The Wildcats pounded the rock to move the sticks, now back to work. And he is stopped immediately by the big defensive lineman. Didn't get much on first down. It's 2nd and 9. They'll run it. Showing off hard. And he's able to shed one tackle and gets a pretty good pickup.
And that's exactly what I want from my offense. Like, listen, they're out of timeouts. I want this clock to tick. Now, we have seen some college coaches across college football continue to run the football and also give up the football and give a gift to the other team. This one's over if I just take a knee.
A timely pickup to get the first down there, and it took a little something out of the crowd, too. You want to talk about building confidence? Coming through with clutch plays, making the winning plays at the right time can really set the course for the rest of the season.
Yeah, Reese, maturity and experience matters, and this team has guys that have played a lot of snaps, they've seen a lot of looks, and they've lost close games like this in the past. That wasn't the case today, David. Too many guys out there making big-time plays.
And I think belief is what you build. That confidence, you know you're going to win. You don't think you're going to win. You know you're going to make that play in the big moment that continues to build on week-to-week success. And you look up and you're like, dang, we strung a couple wins together.
That will put the wrap on things from here. For David Pollack and Jesse Palmer, I'm Reese Davis. You've been watching another presentation of EA Sports College Football.